Alright, this piece is on the new ceramic magnets we're producing for the G3 car, which people are quickly finding that are superior to the original equipment for a number of reasons. First is the fit. The fit is extremely precise, and because it's so precise, it may be a bit tricky on a brand new chassis, and I'll show why. Okay, this is an old G3 chassis, and they fit right in there, no problem. And this is a maybe a couple years old at least G3R chassis. It's been used, and let me get this in the camera. Okay, and they go right into place, no issue. Now the thing is, these are plastic parts, of course, and this is a brand new chassis, of course from the same mold. No changes have been made, but you may find that when you go to insert, again, let's get this in the camera. Put stronger glasses. Okay. Let's get this in here. Okay. When you get to this point, you may encounter some resistance. Now it's important not to force it, because the edges of the magnets are sharp, and you don't want to damage the shelf that the magnet sits on. And you can feel that they're sharp with your finger. Now, the reason for this is material shrinkage. All injection molded parts experience some degree of shrinkage. Depends on the resin, depends on a lot of factors. With the same resin, excuse me, factors like mold temperature, cycle time, shorter cycle time, and increased mold temperature are two factors that will increase the shrinkage of a part after it's molded. The material needs sufficient time to properly cool inside the mold before it's ejected. Okay, so the simple solution, instead of trying to force it and do possible damage, is to just take something like a tweezer, something that's tapered and not too sharp, and just insert it into the chassis. Let's see, like so, and just gently push. Don't need a lot of force. Just gently push to open up that cavity somewhat. That's all. Then take the magnet, and again, you can pull on the back of the chassis also if you need to. And then once you get to this point, you may just want to push down on the one corner, get the back corner in first, and then slide it in, just to make sure you don't do any damage to that shelf. Now again, it's a very precise fit, and it's definitely superior to the original. Now, why was this necessary? Well, let's look at some history. If we take the original, these are G3 magnets that have the little cutout on them. If we put these in a chassis, let's see if we can show this. Okay, there's a good up and down play here. You can see that. It's about 5/1000 of an inch. Not what you want on a slot car when you're dealing with, very close clearance to the rail, where 1/1000th of an inch can make a difference. So now, personally, I think the easier solution would have been to make higher quality magnets at closer tolerance that fit correctly. The other problem is the clip. The chassis clip is designed to perform 3 functions. When you ask a part to perform multiple functions, 2 or more, the chances increase that one of those will not be performed very well. In this case, it seems really only one of those functions is performed well. So what are those? Well, probably the most important is it has to hold down the rear bearing firmly. If it doesn't, then your gear mesh will really suffer if that bushing should move up. The second is it's supposed to help retain the motor magnets in place. Now let's get this in camera. Now as you can see, it's bowed. It's bowed because it's pressing down firmly on the bushing, and the bushing is it's off center from the clip. If the force was right in the center of the clip, then it wouldn't be cocking it like that. So it holds down the bearing fairly well. The magnets don't have much meat really engaging the magnet, but you've got the front timing plate that also holds the magnets down. And then the third function, of course, is to retain the traction magnets. And here, a correction of the fit of this clip would have really helped resolve the issue with the magnets sagging, because here we have, I'm trying to hold this steady, this is a piece of 5/1000 shim stock that fits in there quite easily. Move it back and forth. 8/1000 even fits. It's pretty close. That's a lot of room there. So it seems it would have been easier to add several thousandths of material to the tips of the clip and grind the magnets more closely, and you wouldn't have had to add this costly step here. But be that as it may, that's the way it is now. So that's basically it. And again, people are finding that the fit and the quality of these magnets, the strength is very good. That's the other thing. Original equipment, people find that as you run them, the magnets tend to lose some of the strength. That does not happen with this material. It's extremely high quality, and there's almost zero chipping on the parts. Really none to speak of. It's an extremely high precision made part, and people are quickly finding that it does benefit the car. So I think that's it for this video. We've raced the G Plus many times. I've built them for my sons in the past. One thing I'm not crazy about is how this fits too tightly up here and stresses the chassis, pushing it forward right here. It's very tight against this part of the chassis. But overall, it's a nicely molded part. You know, any molded part, any molding condition, it's not going to be perfectly constant. Modern equipment does really control. Most of them use computer controls to monitor and adjust as necessary the mold temperature, injection pressure. Injection molding is really a science, and there's many details in that science that make a difference. But it's a nice part. Just again, I think it would have been easier to correct the clip and the magnets themselves instead of adding a costly cross grinding operation to the magnet. But they do fit just perfectly in the chassis, G3 or the revised G3R. So I think the racers will enjoy these. It's always good to have a choice, especially when the manufacturer refuses to produce parts, legal parts for the platform. So I think we'll close with that for now.